Hello all, and today we will discuss how to create a VPC with a single public subnet without using the VPC wizard. Before we jump into the demo, let us review through this architectural diagram to understand what all do we need to create in order to achieve this. So as you see, we have our AWS over here. And let me quickly grab my pen so that I can highlight a few things for you. Okay. So this is our AWS right here, as you see. This is AWS. In AWS, in a specific region, we are expected to create a VPC. So this is the CIDR block. As you see, the CIDR block of this VPC is 10.0.0.0/16. Okay. And after we have created this VPC, in this VPC, we are expected to create one subnet. This is a subnet. And this subnet has the CIDR block of 10.0.0.0/24, as you see, it's right here. This is the CIDR block. So after we have created the VPC and the subnet, the next thing, as you see over here, is that since this is a public subnet, we need to ensure that we associate or attach an internet gateway. So it's right here. And after the internet gateway is attached, we need to ensure that we modify our route table to ensure that all non-local traffic, this is non-local traffic, as you see. So whenever you see the address 0.0.0.0/0, that essentially means non-local traffic, okay? And this non-local traffic needs to be directed to our internet gateway. So that is what is the target over here. As you see, is IGW-ID. So that essentially means the internet gateway. So once we have a basic setup, that is our VPC, our subnet, our internet gateway associated, and a route table with our non-local traffic being directed to the internet gateway, the next thing after that we need to do is we need to add an EC2 instance. So it's right here. As you see, this is the EC2 instance. After we have launched an EC2 instance, as you see, this is its private IP address, 10.0.0.6. We need to associate an elastic IP address. This is an elastic IP address to this EC2 instance. Okay, so now when you launch the EC2 instance, we can launch it with a public IP address as well. But after we've launched it, we want to ensure that we associate an elastic IP address to it so that even if this EC2 instance is stopped or it reboots for whatever reason, the public IP address will not change. Okay, so these are some of the core steps that we have reviewed. Okay, so let me clear all the drawings. And for the ease of anybody who wants to follow this video later and wants to create their own VPC, what I have done is I have actually enlisted all the steps right here. So feel free to pause the video whenever you would want to create this particular scenario and follow these steps. So as you see, I've enlisted all the steps over here, all the way until you associate elastic IP. So that's there. Let me grab my spotlight. So this is where you associate elastic IP to your Linux EC2 instance. So for this demo, what we will be doing is we will be launching a Linux EC2 instance. And I've added a few more steps over here, as you see, basically to SSH into your Linux EC2 instance using PuTTY. And then since this is a public EC2 instance, since we've associated an elastic IP address, what we will do is we will ensure that we have internet connectivity, and we will try and install HTTPD, then enable HTTPD, and then finally start HTTPD service on this Linux instance. And once our HTTPD service has been started, we will view the test page, and the test page should come up using EC2 instances DNS or its public IP address. In this case, its public IP address will be its elastic IP. Before we go further ahead and jump into the demo, one thing I want to highlight is please ensure that you release and delete all your resources, especially the elastic IP. So it should not happen that you have terminated your EC2 instance, but your elastic IP is still there, because any elastic IP that is not used or not associated is charged, and you will unnecessarily land up paying a whole lot of money because you have basically requested an elastic IP address, but you are not using it. Okay, so please ensure that you delete and release all your resources after you complete this scenario. Okay, now let's jump into the demo. So let me quickly switch to my AWS account. As you see, this is my account, and I'm going to stop using the spotlight now and go back to my mouse. Okay, there it is. Okay, so this is a VPC service, and if you scroll down, you will see it actually under networking and content delivery. So it's right here. So let's click on VPC. Okay, so our first step was that within AWS, within a region, we need to create our VPC. So I'm logged in AWS. My region is North Virginia, as you see over here. And now we will go ahead and create a VPC right here. Now, as I told you, typically AWS will give you a VPC wizard. So if I click on launch wizard, you will see this is scenario one. This is exactly what we are trying to do, VPC with a single public subnet. But we will not be using the VPC wizard for this demo. We will actually create this scenario one manually by ourselves. Okay, so let's go back to VPC. Okay, and then go to your VPCs in right here. Okay, so let's click on create VPC, and I'm going to give it a name as my scenario one VPC. Okay, I'm just going to copy this because I'm going to use this tag with every resource, or at least all the resources that we will provision manually, to ensure that we know that these resources belong to this VPC. So I'm going to give the CIDR block over here as 10.0.0.0/16. Okay, the tenancy is default, and let's click on yes, create. Okay, so this should go ahead and provision this VPC. So here it is. The VPC has been provisioned, as you see, it's right here. Okay, now after we've provisioned the VPC, as you see, there will be a route table that should have been created as well, and it is right here. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a name. So I'm going to give it a name RT. Okay, so this is my scenario one VPC route table. It's right here. So after we've created the VPC, let's go ahead and create a subnet. Okay, so I'm going to click on create subnet. I'm going to give the same tag here, and I'm going to say public subnet one. We're going to select our VPC right here. And now we will probably use, I think I'm going to use US East 1A, and I'm going to give the CIDR block as 10.0.0.0/24 and hit create. So as you see, our subnet has been created. It's right here, and it's available. Okay, so right now, this is the route table that is associated to this subnet. So let's go ahead and look at this route table, and we are going to associate this subnet to this route table. So There it is. It's associated. Awesome. Is it associated? No, it's not. Sorry. Let's click on associate and then click on save. Okay, so now our subnet is associated. Now, since we have to create one single public subnet in order to ensure that this subnet is truly public, we need to ensure that we add internet gateway. So let's go ahead and provision an internet gateway. So I'm going to go ahead and provision an internet gateway over here. I'm going to give the same tag and IGW. IGW stands for internet gateway, and click create, and our gateway should be provisioned. Okay, so it's provisioned, but it is not attached to any VPC. So we need to go ahead and attach it. So let's click on attach to VPC. There it is. Click on attach. And now our gateway has attached to our VPC. So after our gateway has been attached to our VPC, remember that one of the key things that we need to do is we need to direct the non-local traffic to our internet gateway. So let's go back to our route table. Click on routes, click on edit, and over here we will add another route 0.0.0.0/0, which is the non-local traffic. And as you see, we automatically got the option of our internet gateway over here. So we're going to select that and save it. Okay, so what we have done is, let's switch back. We have completed all of these steps all the way until here, the first 4 steps. Created the VPC, created the subnet, created internet gateway, and added the non-local route to our route table, and basically directed the traffic, non-local traffic, to our internet gateway. Okay, so let me just flip back. So within AWS, within a region, we have created this VPC, we have created this subnet, we've added the internet gateway, as you see, and we have added the custom route, that is the non-local traffic, directing it to our internet gateway. So what is remaining? Now the next thing that we need to do is we need to go ahead and add, or basically launch our Ec2 instance, and then allocate an elastic IP to it. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so let's go back to EC2. Click on launch an instance, and I'm going to use free tier. I'm going to launch a Linux instance. If you want, you can use Windows or Ubuntu or any other instance of your choice. So I'm going to use a Linux instance over here. Click on select. I'm going to use T2 Micro because that's free tier eligible. Okay, we are only going to launch one instance over here. We need to ensure that we launch this instance in our VPC. So I'm going to go ahead and select my scenario 1 VPC. And this is the subnet. We only have one subnet in this. And I'm going to enable the public IP address. Okay. And I'm going to leave rest of the other properties as default. So let's click on add storage. I'm going to keep this as default as well. Add tags. So I'm going to add tag name, my scenario 1 VPC EC2. Configure security groups. I'm going to create a new security group, and I'm going to give it the name my scenario 1 VPCSG. My scenario 1 VPCSG. I'm going to open port 22, and I'm also going to open port 80. Okay, so let's open these 2 ports over here. Review and launch. So as you see, this is a summary of our EC2 instance. Let's go ahead and click launch. And I'm going to use this existing AWS key pair to launch this EC2 instance. Okay, so let's click on our EC2 instance. So as you see, our EC2 instance is coming up. It's right here. Okay, so let's wait for a few minutes and our EC2 instance should be up and running. This is the public IP address that has been associated with our EC2 instance, okay? So it's right here. So this is the public address that AWS provides by default. Now, if you remember, one of the things that we need to do is that we need to provision an elastic IP address and then associate that elastic IP address to our EC2 instance. So let's go ahead and do that. So if we scroll down, you will see elastic IPs. I'm going to go ahead and click on allocate new address. Okay, scope is VPC. Click on allocate. And this is the elastic IP that has been provisioned to us. So I'm going to go ahead and give this the same name, and I'm going to give it EIP. Okay, so I remember that this is of my scenario 1 VPC. And as I mentioned to you earlier, please ensure that you release this elastic IP even before you terminate your EC2 instance, because any elastic IP address that is not associated to a running EC2 instance is going to be charged and you will end up paying money unnecessarily. Okay, so let's go ahead and now associate our elastic IP address to an EC2 instance that we just launched. So it's right here, as you see, it's running. And click on associate. Okay, close. And if we go back over here to our EC2, as you see, our instance is running and the public IP address has been associated. So let's copy this public IP address and now we will try to connect to this EC2 instance. So let's go ahead and click on AWS key pair. And I'm going to click on PuTTY right here. Okay. I'm going to copy my public IP address. Let me change the font size so you can see things clearly. I'm going to change the font size. And then let's go ahead and select our private key. So I'm going to select my private key and then finally click on open. So as you see, our EC2 is up. So click on yes. We will use EC2-user to log in. So as you see, we are logged in now and we are connected to our EC2 instance. Okay, so to ensure that our EC2 instance is connected and we do have public connectivity to it, which is evident because we were able to SSH into it. But let's try and install something on this EC2 instance, okay? So let's try and install yum install HTTPD. Okay, so I believe I need to log in as root user. So let me log in as root. And now let's try and say yum install HTTPD. As you see, the installation is in progress. Okay, so after we have installed HTTPD, the next thing would be to enable it. So the command for that is systemtl, if I'm not wrong, enable HTTPD. Okay, I think, sorry, it should be CTL. Okay, so it's there. And now finally, let's start HTTPD. So HTTPD is up and running. So let's test if it is truly up and running and if we are able to access it over internet. So let's go back over here and let's add another tab. So this is my public IP address, and as you see over here, we are able to access the test page using the public or the elastic IP address, and the test page is up and running. So you're able to actually connect to your EC2 instance that you've just launched, and you've enabled HTTP service on it. Okay, before we exit out, before we terminate this recording, I want to highlight to you that this is the documentation link online. Feel free to explore this link. Okay, this link actually explains the scenario in detail, although it does use the VPC launch wizard to do that. But if you want to do it manually, feel free to, again, follow these steps, freeze the video over here, and you should be able to launch your own custom VPC with a single public subnet. So as I mentioned, the most important part over here is to ensure that you release and delete all resources. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's switch back to our AWS console. Okay. The first thing that you do need to do is go to elastic IP address and say disassociate address. Okay. And after you disassociate the address, release the address. Okay. And then finally go to EC2, the running instance, ensure that you terminate your instance. So terminate the instance, so it's terminated. And finally, go back to VPC, your VPCs, select your VPC here and delete VPC. So I believe my instances are still running, so that's why it's not allowing me to delete right away. But once my instance is terminated, then it will allow you to delete the VPC. Okay, so anyways, I will have my VPC deleted once my instance is terminated, but ensure that you clear out all your resources. Okay guys, so that's it from me. If you have any comments, please post them down below. And if you have any suggestions, or if you would like me to create a video on some other topic, do let me know and I will have that created. If you find my channel to be helpful, please do subscribe, and feel free to provide any feedback that can help me to improve my overall presentation or the overall content of my videos. So thank you very much and have a nice day, and I will see you later again in some other video. Bye-bye.